and practice the Kriya. Because after this half an hour meditation or 1 hour meditation, you will be going in for the Nabo Kriya, which I will tell you about, which is a very, you see, everything in the Kriya Yoga is scientifically balanced. One balances the other. So you don't get into an imbalance. And the Nabo Kriya is first the steadiness of the mind, that when the Kundalini awakens, you don't start jumping around like a frog, or you don't start jerking around. There have been many people who practice Kriya Yoga who steadied their process, their progress, and rather than going into small psychic experiences, they remain steady and wonder why those little psychic experiences have disappeared. Naturally, when you're going in for the big experience, you don't give the small experiences much importance because they are more of a distraction than a help. It could be a benchmark, but too many of that distract you and tend to fortify the ego. That I had a vision of a whirling mass of light coming, and then I was Durga riding on a tiger, and then I had seen. So these are benchmarks, they're good, but remember that the main thing in meditation is to you yourself be transformed into the likeness of the living God within your consciousness, to be transformed into your consciousness. So the experience, spiritual experience with consciousness is that you could see your own personal deity, like the Buddha, the Krishna, the Christ. And this is with attributes, a spiritual experience. The one which is more important without attributes, that you yourself become the consciousness of the Krishna, the Christ, the Buddha, the Shiva. So my sort of teaching or my nature is to make you yourself become divine. You see, where I've mentioned in many of my poems all the time that I am the sun, you are my ray. You must become the whole. By constant Kriya practice, I, your spirit, shall unfold. This is Babaji telling me in the poem. I am the sun, you are my ray, you must become the whole. By constant Kriya practice, I, your spirit, shall unfold. The ray become the blazing sun, yourself as me behold. So, yourself as me, you can behold him in a formless state, or Babaji with a face and 2 eyes and a nose. And you can behold him in his true state as the boundless infinite, beyond creation, and yet within it, formless. And that is the shift. When you go from the physical form of Babaji, the phenomenal relativity, to transit to the nominal reality, then there is nothing. For he is the non-being essentiality. God is the non-being essentiality. His center is everywhere, his circumference nowhere. And that is the state which ultimately is called the seedless Samadhi, or the state of God realization. In self-realization, in the state of Sabikam Samadhi, you can meet many saints and sages in your meditation. But in the final state, you yourself are that. Of course, there are different states to this finality. And even the greatest of the great have not reached there, because then God's name would not be everlasting infinite. And since God is everlasting and infinite, how much to lose yourself in him? This is for the much higher editions and people. Is his will and his grace. You are God to the extent you know God. You are Babaji to the extent you know Babaji. His ocean is infinite.